Hello, I'm Major General Long, the Adjutant General of Virginia, and I want to take just a few minutes to tell you about some very special capabilities that we have here in Virginia that are available not only to the Commonwealth but to the nation if needed. And they are primarily dedicated to emergency response, either man-made or natural disasters, often referred to as CBRNE events, chem-bio, nuclear, radiological, high-yield explosive kinds of events. The first one we'll talk about will be the 34 CST. The next organization is a little bit larger organization. It's called the CERFP, the Chemical, Biological, Radiological, Nuclear, High-Yield Explosive Emergency Response Force Package. The third organization that we want to briefly tell you about is JTFCS, or Joint Task Force Civil Support, which is a Department of Defense national asset located at Fort Eustis, Virginia. Some of the things that I'd like for you to get from this video is the size and the makeup, the response time, the capabilities and special equipment that these organizations have. I'd also like to mention to you that the CST and the CERFP and the Virginia National Guard emergency response capabilities have been recently recognized as one of only 15 states that are fully capable of performing this mission. I hope you enjoy the video.
The mission of CST is to respond to all civil support authorities, basically when we get first responders to call out for the local, state, and federal response modes. We show up, basically report to the incident commander, and give them advice, assess the situation, advise them on the situational awareness of a possible chemical, biological, nuclear, or radiological attack, and assist the local authorities. Civil support team is a state entity under the TAG and the governor's responsibility, and we respond with a VDAM call out. We can respond and support the incident commanders and local entities, the fire and rescue, in communications, in downrange operations with identifying any biological, chemical, or radiological release, any kind of a hazard to the environment. We have 22 personnel. Right now we have 18 Army National Guard and 2 Air National Guard are broken up on command section, logistics section, supply section, commo section, and a survey section. Also, we have physician assistants and a medical section. All of our personnel live within 45 minutes of our area of operations, which is at Fort Pickett. Response time out the door is 90 minutes for my advance party to go out and link up with the incident commander on the scene. 3 hours after that, the main body will be on the road en route to any situation within the Commonwealth of Virginia. CST is a specialized unit which encompasses a lot of communication capabilities, a lot of hazard predictability capabilities, downrange operations in case there is a chemical or biological or radiological event. We can go down, we can identify it, we can assist the incident commander, and we can collect samples, get them to a lab, and find out if there is a danger to the population.
The Virginia CERFP is an incredible capability. It provides Virginia a great asset that would be on the road and available for an emergency within 6 hours of notification. The total team is rather large. It's about 197 people. The majority of those are traditional National Guardsmen, either Army or Air Force personnel. They come from across the Commonwealth of Virginia, and they're supported by a small full-time element of approximately 10 personnel. Our response time, the team is unique. Although we are a National Guard asset, we are designed to rapidly deploy. Our initial advance party, which consists of about 10 people, will be on the road within 3 hours. And the rest of the team is required to be on the road en route to the incident within 6 hours. In a nutshell, the mission of the CERFP is to respond to any validated mission requests made by state, local, and federal authorities to conduct a variety of capabilities. And that's one of the unique things about CERFP. It has 5 major capabilities. First is incident management or incident support. It's primarily designed to interface with the incident command system. The whole purpose of the incident support team, or the CERFP command and control element, is to advise the incident commander and their staff how best to use the CERFP. But most importantly is our personnel are trained in the National Incident Management System, so we can actually assist the incident commander in any way they see fit. The second is mass decontamination. Their capability is any type of hazardous materials decontamination. In the event of a chemical or biological weapon or exposure to a hazardous material, the CERFP can properly decontaminate civilians. Then we have urban search and rescue, which in the CERFP world we call search and extraction. This is a team that will enter collapsed buildings and search for victims. And if they're trapped, they'll use different technology, tools, equipment to breach through walls and concrete. And also they're trained to shore up the building and render it safe so that we can enter it. We have a mass medical care capability. Our medical element is focused on scene triage and initial medical stabilization. And then the final is a team it's a new team that we're currently validating, and is the fatality search and recovery team. It comes from the Air National Guard. It's a new capability, and it consists of 11 personnel. They're trained in the advanced techniques and the requirements of handling remains, and they will enter structures with our search and rescue teams to specifically handle those fatal victims. They're trained in evidence collection, proper handling of remains, and how to safely remove those so that those casualties can have their final rites. This team is capable, it's been validated, and is prepared to respond to any disaster, to include the worst case, weapons of mass destruction.
The basic mission of the Joint Task Force Civil Support is to anticipate, plan, and prepare for CBRNE, Chem, Bio, Rad, and Nuke incidents so that we can deploy, command and control, and conduct CBRNE operations. We have the command and control headquarters located here at Fort Eustis, and that consists of approximately 180 to 190 personnel. They provide the command and control to the larger DCERF, that's the Defense CBRNE and Chem, Bio, Rad, Nuke response force. And that's a force of about 4 task forces that constitute about 5,200 people. That consists of task force operations, task force aviation, task force medical, and task force logistics. And so we can provide all those kinds of assets at a moment's notice with a very quick response timeline. We can push people out of here at the Joint Task Force Civil Support headquarters within about 4 hours. That's our planning factors. For the other task forces, we have those assets on response posture levels of about 24 hours out the door. So they have a PTDO, prepared to deploy order, of 24 hours, Force Package 1. And then Force Package 2, 48 hours. And we divide up those 4 task forces into different force packages. But essentially the bottom line is we can push assets out very quickly to respond wherever we need to respond. So we could support the Commonwealth very quickly. But we are postured to support any kind of domestic response operations. Now that being said, you need to have a governor's request for support and a presidential disaster declaration, and the SecDef will in fact authorize us to deploy in support of those civil authorities. Well before an incident actually occurs, we're already integrating with local authorities, civil authorities, National Guard assets, and planning and preparing well ahead of time for any kind of incident that might occur. We see ourselves as members of a community of response partners, part of that larger CBRNE response enterprise, and that it's a whole of government, whole of society approach to actually protecting the citizens of the United States against any kind of attack or incident that might involve CBRNE type agents.